You know that exact quiet that settles after the argument ends. You're sitting on the edge of the bed. They're scrolling silently. The air feels heavy. You realize you're completely alone again. Why does this keep happening? Did I just stop trying hard enough? Are we really drifting apart for good? Am I the one asking for too much? The relationship didn't get harder because your love faded. It got harder because your safety disappeared. You're not failing at love. This isn't a sign you chose the wrong person. Every couple that has ever loved each other deeply has stood exactly where you're standing right now. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what an avoidant carries about their past partners, why it quietly shapes their present behavior, and how you can step into a dynamic that actually heals instead of repeating. Let's get into it. Most couples believe avoidants pull away because they simply don't care enough, or because they lack emotional maturity, or that pushing harder will eventually wear down their walls. But the real truth is that when safety leaves a relationship, the love doesn't vanish. It goes underground. Your partner's nervous system is reading you before their mind can catch up. What looks like stonewalling is usually someone who has been so emotionally flooded for so long that distance is the only shield they know. You cannot negotiate with a survival response. Trying to force closeness without building emotional presence only triggers deeper withdrawal. This isn't about incompatibility. It's about two nervous systems trapped in old cycles, both wanting repair, but speaking completely different languages. Once you understand the hidden emotional blueprint beneath the surface, their behavior stops feeling like a personal rejection. It starts making sense. Honestly, that clarity changes everything. Here's the part no one talks about: the unfinished goodbye. Most couples assume the avoidant just packed up and walked away cleanly. They never look back. They move on fast. But their attachment history tells a completely different story. Their nervous system holds on to unresolved loops long after the conversation actually ends. Longing stays buried until it leaks out as quiet distance. And here's what changes everything. This isn't about being stubborn or emotionally cold. This is what happens when someone learns that staying safe means leaving before they can be abandoned. Picture the disconnecting version first. They pull away and say, "I just need space to reset myself." Now watch the connecting shift unfold. They pause, lower their guard, and whisper, "I stepped back because I didn't know how to stay close without panicking." You will hear the quiet thought form inside them, "Maybe I don't have to disappear to feel safe anymore." Not louder conversations, not more compromising, not scheduling weekly check-ins, but two emotionally available people who finally feel safe enough to be honest with each other for the first time in years. This isn't a communication hack. It is just what two emotionally mature people naturally do when they stop protecting themselves and start showing up. And when you practice this, the walls between you start to come down without either of you having to chase. And this is the one most couples never figure out: the hidden loyalty to pain. Most couples believe avoidants choose isolation because it simply feels easier to navigate alone. They prefer silence over vulnerability. Yet their emotional patterns run much deeper than that. The nervous system actually confuses predictable chaos with genuine connection. Safety feels dangerously unfamiliar, so they quietly recreate what they know. Watch how this plays out in real time. The disconnecting partner shuts down and mutters, "Relationships always end up draining anyway." Now flip it to the connecting version completely. They sit through the discomfort, meet your eyes and say, "Being alone feels familiar. Letting you in feels like stepping off a cliff. I want to learn how to land with you." Something in him quietly registers, "I'm allowed to want this without breaking myself." Emotional distance in a relationship isn't like a sudden wall. It's like scar tissue that forms slowly over 100 small moments that never got repaired. Not faster replies, not constant validation, not chasing their mood swings, but someone who finally stops treating distance as a verdict and starts treating it as an invitation. This isn't a trick for avoiding conflict. It is what it looks like when someone learns to love without losing themselves in the process. That's when your partner stops feeling like a problem to manage and starts feeling like a person to come home to. But here's what nobody explains: the quiet fear of being chosen. Most couples believe avoidants run when things get serious because they simply don't want lasting connection. They equate commitment with losing freedom. Yet beneath the surface lies a completely opposite truth. Their nervous system braces for the exact moment they will inevitably be left. So they leave first to control the narrative. Notice how this actually sounds in practice. The disconnected response is a sharp retreat. They say, "I'm just not ready for something permanent right now." The connected response looks radically different. They stay in the room, breathe through the panic, and admit, "This is getting real. I'm terrified I'll ruin it. Can you just stay close while I figure this out?" What moves through her in that moment is, "He actually heard me this time." Intimacy isn't built in the big moments. It's built in the 30-second ones, when you choose to look up and stay present. Not grand gestures, not perfect timing, not forcing them to open up before they're ready, but two people who choose turning toward each other, even when fear screams at them to pull away. This isn't about fixing their attachment wounds overnight. It is about becoming the kind of partner who offers steady presence instead of demanding instant closeness. That's the shift that turns a relationship that feels like a negotiation into one that feels like a refuge. This isn't a checklist. It's an invitation to show up differently, and that changes everything about what's possible between you and the person you chose. When you internalize this, you stop reacting and start responding. Your partner will feel the difference before you've even said a word. You're not trying to win their affection. You're learning how to hold space for a nervous system that forgot what peace actually looks like. The relationship you want starts the moment you stop waiting for it to get better and decide to be what makes it better.